Okay, as we're starting with 2.3, we're identifying the graph and using x and y intercepts. So intercepts are where they cross the x-axis, cross the y-axis. This first one, though, is the graph is representing a situation, and you need to be able to tell about her running activity. So I would like you to jot down a few things on your own here, and then we'll talk about this in class. So try on your own. I'll give you a little head start with it, in that this is time. So as time passes, her speed increases, stays steady at 4 miles an hour, etc. So make a little dotted list of each of the increments. So like this is like increment 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9, like legs of the chart. All right, in the next part, we're going to talk about x and y intercept. Well, the x-intercept is where the line or the function crosses the x-axis. So in this case, it crosses the x-axis down here at 3, 0. And the y-intercept is going to be where the line, the function, crosses the the y, got ahead of myself there, the y-axis. So in this case, up here, 0, 6. So find the x and y intercept of the graph of the equation. So basically, on the next step, we actually have to find it. So here, if I were to plug in the 0 and for the x, you'd solve it and you'd get 6. If you plugged in the 0 for the y and solve it, you'd get 3. So we're going to do the same thing down here. We're going to plug in zeros. So notes to self. Substitute 0 in for x and solve for y equals. And then substitute 0 in for y and solve for x equal. So this first one, we're going to put a little line here. And we're going to say 3 times 0 plus 2y equals 6. So 2y equals 6 divided by 2, y equals 3. So that means when I plugged in a 0 for x, so 0, 3 is the y-intercept. If I plug in 3x plus 2 times 0 equals 6, I'm going to end up with 3x equals 6 divided by 3. So x is equal to 2. So I know it's 2, 0. So the next one, do the same thing. We're going to go 4 times 0 minus 2y equals 10. So negative 2y equals 10 divided by negative 2. Y equals negative 5. So we know it's going to be 0, negative 5. And then the other one, we're going to say 4x minus 2 times 0 equals 10. So 4x is equal to 10 divided by 4 on both sides. X is equal to 10 divided by 5 halves, which ends up being 3.5. Oops, I lied, 2.5. So it's going to end up being 2.5, comma, 0. And the last one, I'm going to say 5 times 0 minus 3y equals negative 15. Again, pause me and try these on your own. So negative 3y equals negative 15. So y is equal to 5. So it's going to be 0, 5, because I solved for y. And then when I solve for x, it's going to be 5x minus 3 times 0. Oops, switch my colors. Equals 15. 5x is equal to 15 divided by 5. X is equal to 3. So it's going to be 3, 0. So x-intercept, y-intercept. When it solves for y, it's the y-intercept. When it solves for x, it's the x-intercept. So now the next part here is concept 2, graphing using those intercepts. So if I have this equation and I want to use intercepts, basically I'm plugging in a 0 for x and solving, plugging in a 0 for y and solving. So first thing I'm going to do is say y equals 5 plus 10 times 0. So y is equal to 5 because that's 0. So this would be 0, 5. And the other one's going to be 0 equals 5 plus 10x. Take away 5, take away 5. So negative 5 is equal to 10x and divide by 10. So x is negative 1/2, or negative 0.5 equals x. So negative 0.5, 0. So graphing these, I'm going to say 0, 5, the 0 cross up 5. And then the other one is negative 1/2. So this is negative 1. So negative 1/2 would be halfway in between there. And then make your pretty line. We know that this is 0, 5. And the other point down here is negative 0.50. There you go. Concept 3. Oops, concept 2, excuse me, continuing on. I want you to go ahead and try the next ones on your own. We will go over those in class as well, but try on your own. So make your x and then the y. X and then the y. The fraction one, same idea. We're still going to plug in the zeros. So I will kind of give you a head start here. You're going to plug in a 0 for x and solve for y. So y minus 1/2 times 0 equals 1/4. So y happens to equal 1/4, or 0.25. So this is going to be 0.25. And that's okay. Now try the other one. 0 minus 1/2 x equals 1/4. So negative 1/4 x, 1/2 x is equal to 1/4. To get rid of that, let's go ahead and multiply by negative 2 on both sides. So now x is equal to negative 2 over 4, which is negative 1/2. So x is equal to negative 0.5. So negative 0.5, 0. And then plot your dots and finish it up. So finish on your own. Now we're getting into example 3. So example 3, graph the line given the intercepts. So I'm just telling you what the intercepts are. You need to plot those dots. So I would like you to write that into an ordered pair and then plot the dots. So write So we know, and the x-intercept is going to be negative 5, 0. Y-intercept is going to be 0, 6. So negative 5, 0, and 0, 6. And draw a pretty line. Try the next one on your own. Concept 3. You borrow $1,800 from your parents. To repay the debt, you give them $150 per month. Your debt D is given in the function, oops, this is going to be just a D, not DD, and just a T, not TT. So D equals 150 T minus 1800. T is the time in months, okay? So knowing all of this, let's kind of like write it out to the side here for our LESS. L, we know that D is equal to total debt. And we know that T is equal to time in months. I'm giving you in this format what the 150 is, how much you're going to repay each month, right? And this is how much you owe, just because that's what you borrowed, okay? So find the intercepts of the function. So let's go ahead and plug it in. Let's go 0 is equal to 150 T minus 1800. And then the other problem that we're going to have is going to be D is equal to 150 times 0 minus 1800. Well, this one's fairly easy because it's just going to be D is equal to negative 1800 or 1800. This other one, I have to do a little bit of work. I'm going to have to go add 1800. And I get 150 T is equal to 1800 divided by 150. I end up getting T equals 12. And over here we have the other. Okay, so B is negative 1,800. T is 12. Explain the meaning of the answers you found in part B. Well, part A. That should be an A. Man, I'm making all sorts of mistakes. All right. So what does this actually represent? If I were to graph it, and this is time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I know that here's like this at 12. And I know that my debt started way up here at, actually way down, at negative 1800. And so my debt basically goes to 0 after 12 months. So 1800, negative 1800 is the beginning debt. Nothing's been paid yet. And this is going to be 12 months, and debt will equal 0. It's kind of a when and then how much in an ordered pair. So at 12 months, I owe $0. At 0 months, I owe $1,800. That might be a nice way to look at it. And that's it for today.